Hey there, future teacher, and welcome to this CBEST test prep lesson. In this video, we are going to be covering what is the CBEST, who needs to take it, how to take this exam, the test format, scoring, and how to register, just in case you haven't already done so. All right, my name is Elliot. I've already prepared for, taken, and passed the CBEST exam, and now it's my job to help you do the same. So we're going to click right here. What is the CBEST? Remember, this is normally the first exam that you need to take in order to start your teaching credential career as a person who wants to become an elementary school teacher in the state of California. Now, this exam will cover 3 different sections. It actually has 3 different tests, which you can take individually or all at once. And the content is about reading, math, and writing. Note that you need to pass all 3 sections in order to become a credentialed teacher. All right, now, how you can take this exam. There are 2 different ways. The way that I did is I actually went into the Pearson testing office and I took that computer-based test at an authorized test center. However, you can also do it from home or from another quiet place that would allow online testing. All right, so you can do it from home or go into a testing center if one is nearby where you live. All right, now the CBEST test format has, again, 3 sections, and you'll notice here that the reading and the math are all multiple choice, 50 questions in total, whereas the writing will actually ask you to write 2 different essays or construct responses to prompts that you will receive. Now, again, about the length, there are some commonalities that we can see, such as the reading test will give you 1.5 hours to complete the entire exam. Same with the writing, 1 hour and 30 minutes or 1.5. And then the math is a full 2 hours. Yet again, math, as we mentioned up here, is 50 questions in length, just like the reading, but looks like they are giving you a little bit more time to complete that math exam. All right, notice here that there are 15 extra minutes added in order to complete a tutorial as well as a non-disclosure agreement. All right, so moving on down to what you can expect while taking your actual different sections of your exams. When you are looking to take your reading test, note that you will be given text passages, tables, charts, diagrams, illustrations, different things to look at in order to answer questions. Note that unlike your CBEST or RECA or Foundations of Reading test, this exam actually checks your understanding for reading comprehension. So the CSET and RECA or Foundations of Reading, those will check your ability to provide effective reading instruction as you will become a teacher in the classroom. However, the difference here with the CBEST reading exam is that they are actually checking your reading ability, which basically means if you can comprehend that which you are reading. Now, there are 2 different sections, or better to put it, 2 different categories of questions when taking your reading test, and that is that one section or one category is labeled as critical analysis and evaluation. You can think of this as you are reading a text passage and you are able to either find the literal comprehension checking questions, or you are able to infer that which is being said, and that's sort of like reading between the lines to understand what the author is trying to convey. Whereas the comprehension and research skills, that is more along the lines of looking at a table or a table of contents or a glossary, so reading a lot of nonfiction text structures and then answering a question about that. You can also see that the critical analysis and evaluation includes 40% of this test, whereas the comprehension and research skills make up 60% of the reading exam. Moving on down to the mathematics section, where we can see these 3 different categories. So you're going to want to be prepared to actually do math problems along the lines of estimation, measurement, and statistical principles, and that makes up 30% of your math test. The computation and problem solving problems make up 35%, and the numerical and graphic relations make up 35%. And this graphic relations basically means looking at tables, charts, diagrams, understanding what that illustration or visual is representing, and then doing math, looking at a scatter plot or a histogram, line graph, bar graph, etc., and solving math problems using these graphics visual representations. Now, keep in mind that no calculators are allowed, so it's going to be important that you have a good grasp for simple formulas to find and understand, to find perimeter versus area versus volume, and then also the different shapes have different ways to find different formulas to find area and volume, and you want to be familiar with that. If you haven't already, just scroll on down to our math test prep right down here. I'll just put myself up there where we have the actual sections where you can just look and get all of the information. For example, the probability and statistics, where this is not only text-based, but we have videos showing you as a great refresher for how to look at graphs, tables, charts. But what I really like about this study guide is that it presents lots of visuals for someone who not only prefers to read to learn, but also looking at the actual examples of the different types of visuals that you can expect to receive. And then at the bottom of each math chapter, there is a kind of a checkpoint where you can check your understanding of the material presented in that chapter. All right, so moving back up to the CBEST overview and just going back to that test format where we left off with the writing section. Now, if we take a look here, the writing section is a little bit different than the math and reading in that writing, you're actually going to be writing two different paragraphs or two different responses. And the first prompt that you'll be given is going to ask you to analyze a situation or a statement, whereas the second prompt that you'll be writing a response to is going to be based off your own personal experience. And if you haven't already, make sure to watch lessons 1, 2, and 3, where I cover the writing portion of the CBEST exam and actually teach you how to write a passing response. And in case you aren't familiar with this, our test prep at teacherpreps.com, we actually have this AI-powered essay workshop, which not only teaches you how to write a passing response, but also has the AI infused with our test prep, where you can read our essay prompts and then actually come down here and write your own response and then click the submit button. But of course, you wouldn't actually say response like that. You would actually write what you would on exam day. Okay, so let's go back to the overview here and let's check out the scoring and passing requirements. So notice that your scores for each section range between 20 and 80. Here's what we need to know. So each section requires a minimum score of 41 to pass, though scores as low as 37 can be acceptable provided your total score meets the requirement. That means that your reading, your math, and your writing will all be combined, and then that's when you will have a true passing score of your CBEST. So if, for example, your reading is a little bit lower, but your math is a little bit higher, those two can average out. All right, so your combined score with all three exams or sections of the CBEST exam need to be at least 123, and so no score can be less than 37. All right, so in case you have not already registered, what you're going to want to do is go straight to the California Credentialing Agency and just find the exam. For example, here, the CBEST, click on that, register online, create an account if you already haven't. Now, that is it for the overview of the CBEST. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you're not already enrolled into our full CBEST test prep, just visit us at teacherpreps.com. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in future videos.